Welcome back to I Did This Instead of Killing Myself, a stand-up comedy podcast in Greenville, South Carolina. It's the week of May 22nd, 2023. My name's David. Right out of the gate, it's May 20. I want to give a shout out to all of the Asian and Pacific Islanders. It's Happy Asian and Pacific Islanders Month. Our guest today wanted a specific shout out for that. I'm slipping. Should have gotten that in much earlier. Better late than never. Hope you're having a great start to your Monday. Thank you for wasting a little time with us this morning. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Would mean the world to me. Very excited to have another great week of comedy. And yeah, I'm in a good mood. Very happy, very bubbly. And it's probably because our guest today is that way. Our guest today, she's so sweet. She's a good friend. She's just a great person. Samiha Islam. Samiha and I met. I don't know when we met. I think it's a couple years ago. She is the girlfriend of a comic I know on the scene, Mr. Bill. And she's just a breath of fresh air, always happy, positive, always good vibes to hang with her. And I'm going to read, she sent me a fantastic bio, and this is much more professional than what we normally get. So I'm going to get all into what Samiha's about. Samiha is a Bangladeshi-born Asian-American engineer and data scientist. She's really smart. She's a badass. She grew up in New York City and found her way to Greenville 3 years ago for her career. She describes herself as a student of life and constantly challenges herself through pageantry, modeling, public speaking, teaching Zumba, and experiments here and there in the music and comedy scene. She does get on stage and do stand-up as well, which is great. I love when people do stand-up in that capacity. She does it. Whenever she gets up on stage for comedy, she always does well because she's so likable to any audience. She's a founder of a nonprofit, New Yorkers for Bangladeshi Mutual Aid, and she volunteers with Rescue Exotics, an annual sanctuary based in Easley, South Carolina. Samiha does it all. Really proud of her and all the stuff she's doing. And one of the coolest things, she's actually Miss South Dakota Earth. So she participates in the Miss Earth USA pageant, representing South Dakota, which we find out in this interview is the Swiss Bank of the United States. And I didn't know a lot about this pageant, but it's really cool. And what I did want to feature out of the gate at the beginning, she was featured on a documentary that spotlighted the pageant that's available on Vice News, which is such a cool outlet. And I'm going to play a clip of the documentary where Samiha is featured. So I'll play this clip right now. It's less than 60 seconds. So here's Samiha featured on Vice News.
It is on fire and we can't hear it because these plants and animals don't have a voice.
They are beauties for a cause. And that cause is always environmentalism.
Maybe when the birds flirt with you, it's really charming.
My name is Samiha Islam. I am Miss South Dakota Earth USA. I am 27 years old. And I never was involved in any sort of pageantry. I'm usually the background type of person. For the last 5 months, waking up at 5:30, 6 a.m., hitting the gym, going to work, coming straight from work, back to the gym to meet with my coach. You know, it's super. Literally 10 minutes before we go on stage, all these girls were lining up and they're all just like putting on what was that? I am a winner.
On top of her stage performance, each contestant is also judged on her ego cred.
This is right now.
Not every job is to look pretty, and saving the world isn't gonna be glamorous. It's not.
Very cool. Hope you enjoyed that. Really cool documentary where you get insight into what the pageant world is like, and the whole goal of Miss Dakota or Miss Earth USA is environmental consciousness. So it's for a good cause and quite a big spotlight on Vice. So check out that documentary. It's linked below in the description. Samiha's fantastic. You even see a little cameo by Bill Reiner in that last video. So that's cool. On this interview, we just had a great time catching up, and Samiha is very dedicated to, like I said, she's a student of life and like best practices. So there's a lot of life hacks in there, how to keep on a positive trajectory, like with your mental health. Samiha shares practices she does, including journaling and her daily routines, and a lot of the work she's incorporated from the pageant world. We talked about kind of like staying positive and how you should. This is a good advice Samiha drops in the interview, but she says you should be given space to complain. But if you're going to be a loud complainer, you should be a loud doer. Don't talk about it, be about it. Love Samiha and her positive attitude. Please check her out. Follow her at all the links below and all the causes she's involved with. She's amazing. And check her out on stage here in Greenville doing comedy. All right. Before we get to the interview, here's what's going on this week in local comedy, the week of May 22nd, 2023. Tonight, Coffee Underground, No Expectations Comedy. That is hosted tonight by Alexis Ramirez. So come on down to Coffee Underground. That's at 7 o'clock. Comics get there at 6. On Tuesday, we have Sharky's Pub at 8 o'clock, hosted by Amelia Nelson and Kelly Pasafume. Also on Tuesday, we have the Art Bar in Columbia, hosted by Patrick Fowler. That's an 8:30 show. Also on Tuesday, we have the Odd in Asheville, hosted by James Harrod. That's a 9 o'clock show. On Wednesday, we have Ben Jennings Presents Comedy at the Lounge. It's the Farewell David Bakker Show. I'm moving. I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, come on out. I'll get to do some extended time. Also on the show, we have some great comics. We have Ben Gibson, Matt Addy, and Justin Blackburn also on the show, and Ben Jennings is hosting. That'll be a fun time at 7:30. Free show, but you can RSVP on Eventbrite. Also on Wednesday, we have the Radio Room hosted by Adam Schulte. That's an 8:30 show. Also on Wednesday, Tom Emmons, Swamp Rabbit Comedy Open Mic at the VFW, 9273 in Piedmont. That's a 7:30 show. Also on Wednesday, Open Mic in Asheville, the Disclaimer Open Mic at 8 o'clock, hosted by Carrie Goff. On Thursday at the Comedy Zone, we have Funny or Fired. This is hosted by Brad Deaton and Tom Emmons. 8 o'clock show. There's a ton of comics on there. This is like a comedy game show where we do, different rounds, and it's stand-up, but it's mixed with roast battles, handicap rounds where you have some sort of, I don't know, you can throw balls at the comics. It's a really fun time. So that's this Thursday at the Comedy Zone. I'll be on that show as well, so with a bunch of people. On Friday, we have Mountain Madness Comedy Showcase. This is near Asheville at the Grateful Organic Diner in Marshall, North Carolina, featuring Jess Cooley, Travis Stevenson, David Baker, I'm on this one too, Julia Macias, and Cody Hughes. That's Friday, May 26th at 7:30, $15. Also on Friday, we have All Jokes Aside at Habiba's Mediterranean Restaurant, hosted by Dante Anderson at 9 o'clock. And this weekend at the Comedy Zone, we have Burpee. He's from Wildin' Out. He has 2 shows on Friday, May 26th at 7 and 9, and 2 shows on Saturday at 6 and 9. Tickets available at greenvillecomedyzone.com. All right, that's it for local comedy. Hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I hope you enjoy my interview with Samiha. She's awesome. Have a great week. Here it is. Hi, Samiha.
Hi, David.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Here.
Fantastic.
Well,
we have our coffee.
Cheers to our post-nap coffee.
Post-nap coffee?
Post-nap coffee. 20-minute naps are the best.
Yeah. We both realized we took 20-minute naps before we started recording. So
which is crazy because, after you're done working and getting everything done, all you want to do is take a nap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I didn't get anything done.
What'd you do today?
Nothing. We're not gonna tell what day this is, what time this is.
I mean, you manage people, right?
No. No, my job, I don't have any direct reports. So it's not true. I did do some stuff today, but my managers are off. The other managers that I work with, they were off at a meeting.
Okay.
The first few days of this week. So I didn't have as many calls.
Oh, nice.
You ever have a day where you just don't want to do anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sundays.
Sundays? That's your usual day to rest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually Sundays and the later part of Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, the later part of Wednesday because you're leading up to the point where you're like, yeah, it's humpback day, you know? Yeah. But then after lunch, you're just like, God, I can't wait for my Thursday beer. Like that.
Yeah, exactly. How are you on a Monday morning?
Pretty good. Because I prep because Sunday is my do nothing day. Okay. But Sunday Sunday night, I go really hard into preparing for the rest of the week.
Okay.
That's where I journal. I write out all the things I want to accomplish for the rest of the week. What I want to get done, my affirmations, my gratitudes, and
my gosh, you
That's
write
Sunday
all of that
night.
on a
Yeah.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
You stick to that every Sunday. You do that.
Yeah, I have to. Like, and it's so wild because Sunday's my do nothing day, right? But Sunday, I always go to sleep the latest.
The latest?
Yeah,
Oh.
because it's after that the sun goes down. I'm like, oh my god, the week's gonna start, and then
How long have you been doing that habit of regularly, journaling and affirmations and gratitude and to-dos?
I would do it like regularly, maybe like 3 years ago. But then after my last breakup is when I bought this journal that basically taught you how to like love yourself and fall in love with yourself.
Interesting.
And
How did
once I started that journal, and it gave you 3 to 4 similar prompts of every day, but then it'll give you that one different one.
Okay.
But I was just like, no, this is 60 days. I'm going to hack my brain in 60 days. And then once it became a habit, I just continued like journaling. When I don't know the answers in life, I just journal until I find
That's a really good
the
idea.
answer. Yeah.
So the journal that you found,
Here, let me tell you the name of it.
yeah.
I love it. Like,
Tell
I
the
still
folks
like
at
his
home.
I still go over all his prompts too.
See, this is why I really wanted to have you here, because you have a lot of these nuggets.
I look for gold nuggets. I'm a gold digger.
Yeah.
I'm a gold digger of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for stuff to kind of,
Yeah.
help hack life, whether it's physical or
Yeah, it's
psychological
called-
stuff.
The journal is called New Mindset Who Dis.
Okay. And you said the
I-
journal, it's a 60-day commitment, and it has prompts.
Yeah.
It's 3 similar ones and
Yeah.
1 unique one for each of the 60 days.
Yeah, exactly. And then like, so within 60 days, after you finish that one, you'll do like the next one, and then the next. Like, he has like 3 or 4 journals out right now.
Okay.
The second journal of his that I bought was "Single is Your Superpower."
Okay.
Where you like just learn to fall in love with yourself.
That was after your breakup?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that was 60 days, and then the second one you take kind of like your own time, because it's the second one, "Single is Your Superpower." It has a lot more reflective thoughts on it. So a couple of prompts here or there at the end of every chapter, but how long it takes you to digest the chapter is up to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the questions at the end of each chapter. So the Singles Your Superpower is a book as well as the journal
Yes,
exercise?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
It's like a combo.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I would say after that was like 3 years ago. And I think that's where I started committing to the journaling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been journaling regularly for 3 years.
Yeah.
Do you journal every day, or you just have the Sunday ritual of like once a week?
I write a lot of Post-it notes everywhere.
Okay.
Like everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Even on my laptop, I have like the sticky notes app downloaded, where even my laptop, I'm typing Post-it
Yeah.
notes. So what I do is I'll always have my go-to journal, and it'll have like every thought, like whether it's like a random poem I think of, a random song that I'm writing, or random
Okay.
a random like joke that I thought of.
Yeah.
I did think of a new joke the other day.
You did? Do you
Yeah,
wanna
I
tell
did.
it?
I did. It has to. I don't know if you've heard like my little abortion segment. Like with
Samiha
my
has abortion material. Yeah.
yeah, with my abortion material. I was watching Chris Rock's special yesterday, and he was talking about how he paid for more abortions than any other woman in this room, so that's why he should have a say. And
Chris Rock said this?
yeah, in
didn't
his
remember that.
special.
Oh my gosh.
And he goes and he says, "Oh, so when I go in there, I say, give me the usual." But for me, I don't know what that triggered in my head, but for my abortion material, it was about one of my best friends and how we live parallel lives.
Okay.
And the punchline I came up with is we'd have parallel lives. She started dating a white man. I started dating a white man. She lost her job. Then I lost my job. She got an abortion. And then y'all know the rest, right?
yeah. I've heard that one. Yeah,
But then people are like, no, give us more. So I'm just like, oh. So I tell her to drop the location of her abortion clinic.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, this is what Chris Rock did to me.
Uh-huh.
I was just like, oh, when they ask what do you want, here, I'll be like, oh, I want what she's having.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'll have
There
what
you go.
she's having.
Yeah, I'll have what she's having.
Dude,
I thought that was kind of cute.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that you're dating Bill Reiner.
I'm not surprised either. I mean, I'm surprised.
No.
I'm surprised as to how it even happened. But
No, I love it. That's just, yeah.
like, I don't know
'Cause
how
Bill has
it
a couple
happened.
of abortion jokes. And and Bill's stuff is just out there and wild. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, he calls it. We called it the little splooge.
Oh gosh, that was so dark when I heard that.
Yeah, the little splooge.
The little splooge. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, wait. I want to go back to the 60 days thing.
Okay.
What were the prompts? Can you give us an example of some of the prompts on the 60 day? Like,
Usually it's kind of like name 3 things you're grateful for today.
okay.
Think about one thing you're proud of for yourself today. Like, it
Okay.
really gets to the whole idea of being proud of yourself for even the most minor thing.
Mm-hmm.
So some days it'll just be like, today I made my bed. Other days it'll be like, I just built an F-16 aircraft.
Oh,
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so,
for
you know,
sure.
every day is just so different. But the thing is, you have to make sure to be proud of even the smallest things.
Yeah.
And then other prompts of it would be like, what were like your strengths today? And then you would reflect on it's a lot of more like the positive aspects, you know?
Because you write it at the end of the day after your day's over?
You can write it whenever.
Okay,
It only
gotcha.
takes like the biggest thing I think in anything in life is being consistent.
Yes, 100%.
So
Yeah.
even if you're doing it 5 a.m. or 5 p.m., like as long as you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
And once you pick a time, stick with it.
Yeah.
And it must work. For
It-
sure.
I gave it to so I met like one of my really close friends now. We both do modeling, but separately. She's in LA. I actually met her on this Facebook group called Brown Girls Rising.
Okay. Okay.
That's where I met like my bestest like brown gal pals. And you know, 2 of them are in Atlanta and the other one's all the way in LA.
Yeah.
But somehow we've never met in person. The LA one, we've never met in person, but I recommended her this journal. And at the same time, I feel like I elevated, she elevated.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I love it because, like, you know, there's some people you meet that are just like bubbly and happy and
Yeah.
magnetic. Like, you are like that always. And yeah, it's good to know. Like, that's maybe why. Like, that helps. You know, those kind of good habits. Like, you're a positive, bubbly person that people want to be around. you.
It's really weird because it takes a lot of energy. I think that's why, because I'm so like bubbly all the time when I'm around people. I do feel drained, and that's when I need to like have my own like journaling time. I'm sorry. Let me drink that water.
Yeah, you're good. Are you introverted or extroverted?
I would say I'm like 60% introverted
Okay.
and 40% extroverted.
Okay.
Because like I said, I need the time to like re-energize myself,
Yeah.
take my naps, do my little
Do your naps.
journaling.
Yes.
I love just spending time with myself, like thinking of like song lyrics, poetry, like any sort of writing and creating.
Right.
Yeah, I like it all. Like as long as I'm creating, I like that.
What kind of like art are you most drawn to? Like when you're listening to songs, or do you immediately like internalize the lyrics to how it's like the universal thing they're talking about and how you have felt similar things? Or I'm kind of projecting. I do that.
You do that. Okay.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I like songs.
Give me an example.
Well, the artist I'm really into right now is Whitmer Thomas.
Okay.
And highly recommend anybody. I've posted him on my story a couple times because I want people to listen to his music. But I discovered him because Rory Scovel is one of my favorite stand-ups because he's one of the most...
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the most creative. Have you seen any Rory Scovels?
Little clips.
Okay. Yeah, you know, he's Pride of Greenville, so it's kind of fun that he's from here.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's successful. And he promoted Whitmer Thomas's album on his Instagram. And I was like, oh, if Rory likes this guy, he must be good. And he kind of has this really interesting vibe. He used to open for Bo Burnham. So if you like Bo Burnham, you'll probably like Whitmer Thomas's stuff. But, you know, a lot of this is like probably projection. But he's like my age. So he's like early 30s. And he writes a lot of like introspective stuff just about it's kind of meta. He does do music, so he's also a musician. So he has songs
meta.
and
Can you explain what
stand-up.
meta means?
Like it's like analyzing itself. Like it's like you're making a joke of, gosh, it's hard to explain meta.
Because when I think meta, I think like metaverse. I think Facebook.
It's like commenting on what you're doing.
Okay.
So it's like being at a comedy show, like, what is a comedy show? Like, what are we even doing here? It's like not telling a joke. It's like it's talking about what we're like. Louis C.K. had a joke that I would consider meta. It was like when he opened his act, like he does a dumb joke and he says, I don't know how to start shows. And he just talks about the joke is about what he's doing in the moment.
Yeah.
So it's like a joke about what he's doing. That's kind of what, you know what I mean?
That's so multi-layered.
It is. And it's kind of like a little self-involved sometimes if everything's so meta. But you know how Bo Burnham does that? I don't know if you've seen.
I think I need an example.
Bo Burnham's special Inside, it's just him. So it's him analyzing his thoughts and then him stepping out and analyzing the thoughts he just had. And then it spirals down.
I've seen Louis do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
Inside
he does it too. Okay.
with Bo Burnham's special, it goes to the point of insanity because it's kind of a commentary on COVID
Yeah.
and how it made a lot of people insane.
Yeah.
It's a really brilliant kind of piece of
Okay.
art, I think. But Whitmer Thomas is similar. He's very vulnerable. He talks about his mom who died when
In his
she was
music?
very young. Yeah. He's got a song called Partied to Death, which is about his mom who was a heavy partier and that's what killed her.
Wow.
And it's super dark and
That sounds incredible, but sad at the
self-referential.
same time.
oh, it's very sad. Very sad,
But
very
it's also
dark.
incredible because, imagine you die partying. Like,
It's like, yeah, I know.
like
Yeah. And he talks about trauma. He talks about therapy. He talks about his own. It's very personal. Very talks about social media. And he's got a song.
all through his music.
There's different songs and stuff. But
Okay.
There's a song called Rigmarole.
Do you want to play a song?
I would love to play it with
Yeah,
you.
let's
I don't
analyze.
think-
Let's analyze.
I
this
would. I don't
song.
think we can. I don't have a way to. I'll send you some.
I have my Spotify.
If your Spotify.
Yeah.
Okay. Will we get in trouble? Okay.
Will we?
I don't know.
Will we get in trouble?
Nobody's gonna find it. Yeah. I don't know how many people watch. Nobody report this.
For playing a song?
Yeah. Yeah. People are gonna.
Oh. Well, I'm using it Spotify, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So, rigmarole.
Rig.
Rigmarole. I don't know.
Rigmarole.
But that's how I listen to music. I am very I don't know. And that might
found
be
it.
a selfish way to.
Whitmer Thomas. Are you ready?
Sure.
Ooh. He has a shirt that says Alabama.
Yeah. Dude, look at him. Look at him.
Yeah, he's so cute. I mean, he looks like he has an eye that got punched, but
Yeah, he's got a black eye in this.
Yeah.
They're dressed like
a
the
red
village
eye,
people.
Red black eye.
No satisfaction.
This is very Vampire Weekend-y. I like it.
Vampire Weekend?
Yeah, I love Vampire Weekend. But they're upbeat,
Yeah.
but still the lyrics matter.
Yep. I like this one.
I'm looking up the lyrics.
Never really knew myself. I never really knew myself. We don't have to play the whole thing if you don't.
No, now I know the vibe. So
Yeah.
the vibe helps.
Yeah.
I like his
Both
lyrics.
the lyrics, yeah.
Yeah. It says do you feel out of gas? An empty kind of feeling? Tired all
Always.
the time?
Yes.
No matter which way you imagine tomorrow is just no good and there's no end in sight.
Yes.
It's such an upbeat song, but these lyrics.
Yeah.
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 It's such a big contrast.
One of the lyrics I love is I can't tell if I'm depressed because so is everyone else.
I feel that.
Do
I
you?
feel that. Every time. One time in college, I actually had to ask my friend this. it was like like a gray Sunday. Buffalo has a lot of days where it's so snowy and just cloudy. Like you don't see the sun until like April. So I asked her, I was just like, what do you do on a day that you're sad? Like, what do you just do? And she's just like, you just wait it out.
Huh?
That's the answer she gave me. And I'm like, seriously? That's what you do?
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. You just wait.
You just sit there?
No, you don't sit there. But she's
You
just
take
like,
a nap?
she's like, yeah, you take your nap. You do everything you're supposed to do for the day. Like, you make sure you eat.
Yeah.
And by the time you're doing all these little minute like tasks that don't seem like a plan, but once you do them, your day's practically over.
Yeah.
Because do you know how hard it is to make sure that you work out, you're eating your 3 meals,
Yep.
you take your shower,
Yep.
you groom yourself,
Yep.
like it actually takes a lot of time.
Dude, it does.
It does when you actually think about it. So like by the time you get yourself out of that bed to do everything, you're already 50% of the way there.
For sure.
To tomorrow.
For sure.
Yeah.
The day's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep doing that until you die.
Until you die, David.
Yeah. I see it with comics too, Like they often like getting groomed and showered and ready for the day. Like
Yeah.
I'm guilty of this. I'll show up to mics like with my hair messed up and sweats, just like
Oh, we know your sweats. We know your gray sweatpants.
gray, black. I got all kinds of them. But yeah, I'm just like, fuck. So yeah, you're right. Yeah. And some people are like, dude, have some self-respect. Like,
Honestly,
are you okay?
Honestly,
I'm fine, dude.
Honestly, all you have to do is just put on your pants. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, but okay, but I kind of want to make it so like joggers are like cool. So it's not like I'm not trying. It's like I'm cool.
Oh, I see. You want streetwear. You like streetwear.
Yeah, I want to be comfortable and swag. Is that
feel
possible?
like it is.
I bought
it is
some
possible.
new joggers that are tighter.
It is possible. I feel like it's possible when men tell me this all the time. They say that their beards are like makeup.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think
because it hides their emotions.
Bill says it, but so does like other guy friends that I have. Like one of my really close friends, I'm with him too. Like and my brother, like they say that their beard is essentially like once they have it trimmed and like the fine lines and everything.
Yeah.
Like it's like makeup. It's like when girls contour
sure.
their faces.
For sure.
So I feel like if you were to really maintain your hair and your beard, you can wear joggers and people would think you're put together.
Okay.
Because you can't give it all up. Like in a day, girls have a hack. I think all girls have this little hack where if we're gonna have our lazy day wear where we go outside, we make sure that at least something is put together.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Just give me an example.
So some girls they'll put on eyeliner.
Okay.
And they're like,
so
okay,
they're
I could be
sweats. Would they do their hair still?
messy bun, but they do their eyeliner, and they're like, okay.
So it's like, okay.
Yes.
She tried.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's with everything. For me, I think it's moisturizing. I have to make sure I moisturize.
Yeah.
And I always have like at least one outfit where it's just like my lazy outfit, but I make sure that it's something that makes me feel good when I wear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. I see.
Like today, I think like everything's pretty bummy
today.
But like my boots.
Yeah.
My boots are like.
Those are some classy boots.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I love shoes.
Do you?
I love shoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. So well that's shit, what were we talking about before this?
About how if you go to a mic and you want to make joggers a thing for you, then just maintain maintain like, do your little man bun.
I don't have a man bun. I don't want to do a man bun.
Okay, then don't do a man bun, but make sure your hair is good if the rest of you is not.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, okay. I can
It's
do that.
balance. Everything's about balance.
Everything's about balance. That's
Yes.
right. And I actually heard some self-help tips from this was a Jordan Peterson hack, I think, but or something about how the brain is wired. It's wired dopaminergically, is what he was saying.
We want dopamine? Is that it?
Yeah, everybody wants dopamine.
Yes.
But your brain will like create.
We also want serotonin.
Serotonin, yes.
Yes.
But it's about goal attainment, and if you accomplish very small goals, that will keep you moving. So like on a day when it's like a sad day, or just like a bummed out day, if you could just get out of bed and make your bed.
Yes.
Or do your little tasks, feed yourself, clothe yourself at your 3 meals, do your obligations. They suck because they're obligations, but
Yes.
they're just sitting there torturing you until you start doing them.
Yes.
As soon as you start doing them, you'll feel better. So what it really comes down to is not being a bitch, I think. And just not complaining. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. No, I mean, I think we should be allowed to complain.
I agree. Yeah.
I think we should all be given the space and the freedom to complain.
Yeah.
But you can't be a whiny little bitch, complain, and then sit there on it.
Yes.
I think if you're going to complain, you better make sure if you're going to be a loud complainer, be a
Yeah.
loud doer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah. I feel like that way it's just like if somebody sees you, they won't just be like, oh my God, he complains all the time. It's like, no, he complains, but have you seen him do something about it? He does something about it.
Yeah, for sure. Talk about, or no, wait, no. A coach had a saying once, don't be about it. Don't talk about it, be about it. That's
Yeah,
what it was.
be
Don't
about
talk
it.
about it, be about it.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. You don't tell everybody. Well, that's another thing too about people who brag about the shit they're going to do and then never follow through.
I'm very wary about something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
you know people like that, right?
Yeah. I know people like that, and they make me, because there are people who talk about all the big things they're going to do, it makes me like kind of like feel like, oh my God, even if I'm doing something good, I don't want to tell anybody. Like, yeah, just because I fear what they sound like and what they look like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to be
that's
that
not
person.
Somebody who, like, people kind of cringe at that kind of person because
Exactly.
they're not.
Yeah, like, see, that I feel like I'm doing that action. I didn't have the word, and you're like, yeah, that's cringing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can cringe at somebody who's doing stuff too, because that's the whole other thing. Because once you start doing stuff, then you cringe. You have the temptation to cringe at yourself or worry about other people cringing at it. But you just have to keep fucking doing it and then being like, whatever.
Yeah.
But
that's how I felt about like doing pageants. I was just like,
yeah, we're gonna talk about all this stuff, by the
God.
way, and I'll introduce it at the beginning.
cringe factor.
The cringe factor. Yes. So yeah, let's talk about that. So Samiha, I wanted to have you on. I'm going to brag about you in the intro part for sure.
Good, because I can't do it myself.
Yeah, no. I have no problem. You're great. So you are involved in the pageant. I don't even know the name of the pageant.
Miss Earth.
Miss Earth?
Yes.
You're going to be Miss Earth.
No, I'm not gonna be Miss Earth. I am
You're
Miss
in the
Earth.
running.
I'm Miss Earth, South Dakota.
South Dakota?
Yes.
Okay.
We already had our national pageant in January.
Okay.
So right now, I just aged out. So
Okay.
This is my last month with my crown. So
Okay.
I just
Wait, so
I just
you
finished.
won Miss Earth South Dakota.
Well, it's not winning it. It's getting like an appointed title. I was a runner-up in South Carolina.
Okay.
And then my director, I like absolutely connected with my director. She saw potential in me, and she's just like, I'm going to help you. We're going to take you to nationals.
Nice.
And so they gave me an appointed title, and I took on South Dakota.
Okay.
They actually offered me, they're like, do you want North Dakota or South Dakota? And I'm like, well, South Dakota is kind of like the Swiss Bank of the United States.
Yeah.
And not many people know that.
It is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
It's because they have so many regulations where it's like very low tax, or you can like evade a lot of like
Okay.
taxes there.
So if you want to hide money, you do it in South Dakota?
Yes. Yes.
Dude, good to know. Tip for folks
Pro
at
tip.
home.
I feel like
If
we
you
have a
wanna-
lot of pro tips today. We have a
Pro
lot of hacks
tips.
and tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you took on that honorary title, the title,
Yes.
South Dakota.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been
In the pageant.
with the crown? And in the
So
pageant?
I got the crown. Let's see. When was Ben's birthday? Ben's birthday was in September. His birthday party was in September. So yeah, I'd
Which
say.
one? He had 5
Oh God!
birthday parties.
Oh my God! He really did.
Ben Jennings,
He
shout
really
out.
did. Well, I know I went to the second Roaring 20s one, not the first one.
He had 2
I
Roaring
yeah, I went to the
20s
one that you
birthday
didn't go to because you went to the first one.
Yes.
Yeah, I went to his second one.
Oh my. He's got so many friends. He's got to rotate.
That boy has so
in.
many friends.
I
I don't know how
know.
he keeps up with them.
Ben, Mr. Popular.
So popular.
Yes. Wait, pause. Was that the party where we handed out the figurines, or was that a different party?
The figurines. That was Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Do we want to talk about that now?
I don't know. It's a sculpture. First love. I don't know. I don't know if we want to talk about this. Do you want
Okay.
to talk about this?
Okay. We will.
There's a story behind
There is a
these.
story behind that.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. They were gifts.
Ben returned his.
Why did he return it?
He's just like, I can't have this in my house.
It's just an odd thing. It was just random.
It was random, but the thing is, we bought it like months before Thanksgiving. We were just waiting for the right time.
You and Bill bought them?
Yeah. Me and Bill went
gosh.
thrifting.
Oh,
we went
you
thrifting. Yes, we went thrifting for Halloween. I love thrifting. Miss Earth. We're okay. It's all connected.
Yes, it's all connected. We're getting back to the pageant stuff.
Yes. So I'm very big on like sustainable fashion. So I go thrifting for everything. Bill wanted us to do like Inigo Montoya and the Princess Bride.
Okay.
So I had to look for like vests and like, you know, kind of like some linen shirts.
Okay.
And then we found those dollies. He saw them and his eyes lit up. And there were like maybe like 10 of them.
Yeah.
No, there weren't 10. There was 7. There were 7 because I know he wanted more to give to all of our friends. And we had to and we were like, no, we only have 7. So which ones do we give to who?
Right.
Yeah.
So they were personalized.
Yeah, they were personalized. We picked which one to give to who. Yeah. But essentially, they're little dollies. And they're all black dollies. And they were at the thrift store, and Bill's just like, well, they're for sale. Who's gonna buy them? Maybe I should buy them and give them out as gifts. And
it's the weirdest gift I've ever gotten
for Christmas.
I love it. It's
for
very
Christmas.
Nice.
He bought a whole bunch of black Santas because we walked into Rite Aid after Friendsgiving.
Did he decorate his house? Yeah, with them.
With the black Santas. He did, but it was just to hold them in place in time for Christmas, where he gave them out to his like parents, his grandparents, his aunt.
Oh, great!
Yeah,
I'm sure they all loved him.
They did. Oh my God, one of his grandmas, the one on his dad's side, she was just like, I've never had a black Santa in my house before. Thanks, Billy.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I like it.
That was Grandma Karen.
Yeah, Grandma Karen?
That was Karen.
Oh, she appreciated it, Grandma Karen.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so Miss South Dakota.
So weird.
What?
It's so I've never heard you say that to me before, so it was just like,
hi, Miss South Dakota.
Hi.
So what have you done with the pageant? I know. Okay, so the most exciting thing that I was so excited to see was that you were featured on a documentary that's on Vice on TV.
On Vice News.
It's Vice News. Yes. First of all, has that been aired yet?
Yeah. They released it. It's on their website. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
It's on there forever.
That's on their channel too.
Yeah.
On TV for people who watch the Vice channel. It was so cool, and you shared a snippet of it on your Instagram.
Yes.
And we'll put the link to it in the comments below if you want to watch her on the full thing. But tell me about that. How did Vice get involved with like showcasing your pageant stuff? Okay,
so essentially, one of the biggest things with being a title holder is that you have to spread your message, your platform, and social media was like a big thing. There are actual points in our pageant system where nationals was in January, but they gave us a whole bunch of little mini projects and points to even get up to competing. Okay. And if you didn't meet them, you weren't allowed to compete.
Okay.
And even if you did compete, you wouldn't have gotten your points to even go into the next round.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So it wasn't until top 20 that all your points that you had gathered up got eradicated, and then it was the actual walking where you got your points on.
Okay. So you did a lot of stuff just to get your ticket to the dance.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of things did you have to do as a prerequisite to the pageant?
Weekly social media posts on your platform. So that's where I talked a lot about like sustainable fashion, sustainable mindset. I did tree planting events with BMW. I volunteered at Safe Haven.
Because this earth is all about like, the environment consciousness.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I sewed a whole bunch of like t-shirt bags and then gave them out in like Whole Foods and then a Dollar Tree. So when people came in, I would just be like, hey, instead of a plastic bag, do you want to use a t-shirt bag? And so many people were about it. Yeah. And so some people were like, no, but then I was just like, they're free. And then they're like, hell yeah, give me 2.
Yeah, you're not trying to sell something, you're just trying to save the planet. A whole bunch of little projects.
Yeah, exactly.
And you did that where, at Whole Foods?
Whole Foods and Dollar Tree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I bet the Whole Foods crowd would be good with that.
For Whole Foods was harder to do it at because you had to get approval from like all the managers. I had to go and talk to the assistant manager and then send emails.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all that. They're actually very.
So that wasn't all set up for you. You had to do the legwork on your own.
There's a lot of legwork. Like Publix won't allow it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Publix, what the fuck?
Yeah, Publix would not allow it at all. The manager won't even let you talk to corporate.
Man.
Like he won't even give you the email. He's just like, no, we don't want this.
What's the stick up Publix butt? They're so corporate they can't even have any fun. Oh.
I don't know, but Dollar Tree, I didn't have to go email anybody. I went in, I talked to the manager, I told her what I was doing. She was just like, yes, girl, do it.
I love that. Like, I don't care.
And I think there are more Dollar Trees in the world than there are Publix.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
maybe that's why Dollar Tree's doing better than Publix.
Should we look up their stock prices right now?
We can. I don't care. But you're gonna do that?
Now I want to know. When I'm curious, I'm curious. I Google 50 things a day. It's terrible. 50 like million.
We need a producer to Google stuff so we can keep talking. But
let's see. Dollar Tree stocks.
Yeah, Dollar Tree. Go Dollar Tree.
152 today on NASDAQ. $152 for Dollar Tree. Does Publix even have Publix?
They're probably not even publicly traded, even though they call themselves Publix. That's a joke. While we segue.
Publix. Is Publix? No, Publix isn't publicly traded.
See? Wow. Publix. Not even a publicly traded company. I think Publix sucks. I think you should go to Ingles.
I think you should go to Harris Teeter. I love Harris Teeter.
Or Whole Foods. Whole Foods is bougie, but
it's not publicly traded, but each stock price would be $14.55.
Yeah, and Dollar Tree was what, 100 something? Yeah.
Dollar Tree's
and share price isn't a perfect comparison because they're not the same sector, but still, Yeah. Publix, let them do some t-shirt bags. So the bags were made out of t-shirts, or could the bag unfold and be a t-shirt that you'd wear after?
No. You get all the t-shirts that you want to throw out. So I got friends and everyone to donate like old t-shirts. Mm-hmm. And then I wanted more. So then I went to a Goodwill distribution center.
Yeah. And
the distribution center is the last spot in the Goodwill chain that everything ends up in. It's where you buy everything by the pound. Because nobody in the store wanted it, and then they had it on there for 2 weeks, and then they had it on a sale item for 2 weeks. People still didn't want it, and then that's when it gets sent to a distribution center.
And then what happens after that? Does it just get incinerated or sent to a third world country?
It gets sent to a third world country.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Yeah, they bulk it up, and then they send these big bulks on ships to third world countries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's like the last place. So I bought like pounds of it.
Yeah. Stuff before it went overseas.
Yes.
To reuse as bags for people. Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to, yeah.
So, I did all these little mini projects, and, you have to post about all of them all the time. And
how did you feel about that? Did you feel anxious about the self-promotion aspect of it?
I did. That was so hard to overcome.
Yeah.
It was so hard. The first time I even took on my local title. My local title was Miss Greenville.
Yeah, nice. Nice, Miss Greenville.
Yeah, it was
got Miss Greenville.
The first time I publicly came out as Miss Greenville was actually the first time I went to Safe Haven, the animal rescue center.
Okay.
And it was at a comedy show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who was there? Zaslav was there. Chris Wilson, Bill. They were gonna do their comedy sets. In an open like farmland.
Where was this? This was at Safe Haven?
Yeah. This was at the Animal Rescue Center.
Animal Rescue Center.
Yeah.
And there was a comedy show planned and everything?
Yes. Somebody else who used to do comedy, she also volunteers there.
Okay.
So she had gathered the comedians to come out as entertainment.
Okay.
And it was so weird hearing like, you know, the comedians trying to do their comedy
Yeah.
while there are birds screeching.
Yeah.
And like just chickens and ducks quacking away.
Yeah. What kind of place was this? Was this a place that was featured in the Vice documentary with the animals? Same place.
Yeah,
okay.
same place.
Gotcha. So you'll see you running around with the chickens
Yeah.
at this animal
They also have bobcats and alligators.
Okay.
I've actually picked up their alligator, like the tail end of it. Yeah,
Can't-
because you needed two people to pick up the alligator, one to hold its snout and one to hold.
Is
the
the alligator
breast.
dangerous or is he chill?
As long as you have their mouth taped up. That was actually like my second or third time holding an alligator. The first time was at New Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the bayou.
In the bayou. Yeah. So I did it once, so I wasn't afraid the second time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I wondered if you could vibe with alligators.
I think I could vibe with alligators.
Like, could you ever like make eye contact with them, and be like, "I mean you no harm. Like, let's be friends." Or is there gonna be a disconnect because there's a reptile mammal thing going? Could you pet them? Could you pet them?
I do. As long
Do you know what I mean? Like, with
as
the
long as their snout, I feel like as long as you have to be smart about it. That's like those safari people that go out and there's like a freaking like there's like a tiger or something or a lion and then they roll down their window. Come on, that's being dumb. You have to be smart about it. You have to be smart about it. Or the ones that try and take a selfie with the window rolled down.
Yeah.
Those stories, I can see why it happened.
Yeah.
People need to be smart about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I definitely
not
have this
sure.
side to me where, like, you know, like every time there's like a dog, cat, any sort of animal, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna walk through it, and my energy is gonna match theirs.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna feel all mystical and shit.
That's what I want to have happen.
I do. Sometimes it happens,
Yeah.
but you have to be smart about it. You know, like for me, even like the bobcat, right? It does its circles. It gets very aggressive around
Yeah.
people. Or they have little monkeys there.
Yeah.
And even the little monkeys, you know, they don't get along with everybody.
Right.
But I went in there to clean out monkey poop one day, and the monkeys loved me.
Yeah.
And I was just
The
like,
monkeys
okay.
you could vibe with. They're primates, right? You can.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, but you know, they still nibble and bite, and like they'll pull
do
your
they?
hair.
Oh, they will.
Yeah, they're so cute. They're just like this tiny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
See, that's like what I picture heaven being like, you know, where you can just like I have this fantasy in my head of like being just in nature and being able to like talk to the animals.
Yeah.
And just hanging
yeah.
out.
Yeah, I've always.
And there's like a little groundhog just says, "Hi, Samiha. Hi,
Yeah,
David." And
it's like for your day. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's-
stuff like that makes my day. Like there's this one macaw there. She wants petties all the time. So she
What's
will
a macaw?
literally they have like the big like it's a bird.
It's a bird.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
a bird and it has like the big feathers coming up like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
And you know, she'll keep like calling at you and she'll make a ruckus until you give her attention and petties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Petties, like little
Yeah.
petties.
Yeah, she wants her feathers petted.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Do you feel like she got to know you? Did she know who
Yeah.
you were?
Yeah. Like every time I walk in there, she'll be like, "Hey, hey." She's so flirty.
Aw. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no,
I
like
feel
these
like-
animals are so precious. They're just so precious, and you want to be its friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were there horses there?
No horses.
No horses? I
No
feel like horses you can kind
I
of
miss
vibe with,
riding
too.
horses. I want to
You
ride
rode horses a lot?
Every chance I got, I would want to ride horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were at the comedy show and you announced that you were Miss Greenville.
It wasn't announcing. It's the first time I came out wearing my sash.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, you came out in your full.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's funny because, you know, I asked Bill, I'm just like, is this something I'm allowed to, not allowed to? So he had to ask, I don't know if their pronouns are she, her, or she, they.
Okay.
So I that's why I'm like kind of like trying to stay away.
Okay.
Just to not insult anybody. But they had. Let me find their name. Are you gonna edit this?
I can fill time.
Okay, filter.
So yeah, I think it'd be heaven to just be able to talk to the animals. You know, like in the Bible before Adam had Eve and he could just chill with the animals. That sounded like not a bad situation.
It's not, because I feel like you really
No?
learn a lot about yourself. Like, I think I learned a lot about myself through my cats.
Through your cats? How?
Yeah.
How?
Just like how to be. Do you get it?
I think so. Yeah, because a cat. they'll like-
Carson. Do you know Carson?
Carson?
Yeah, Carson Elaine.
Yes.
She's a comedian. Okay, she called herself a she.
Let me
And
see.
she calls herself a mama.
Let me see.
That's Carson.
Oh, yeah, of course. I know Carson.
So Carson's the one who organized the comedians to be there.
Okay, gotcha. Did you have a crowd?
Huh?
Did you have a crowd? Or
There
was
was
it
a
small?
crowd. Yeah, it was a I would say a medium crowd because it was all spread out. It was like a beers and beasts like event.
Okay.
So you would have the beasts or the animals, and then they would have beers there.
Okay.
So Bill had to ask Carson like, "Hey, is it okay if my girlfriend shows up there?" Because he was really hesitant, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, I don't want to embarrass my boyfriend." Like,
Yeah. So
but I wanna
you
do
perform?
this.
Did you perform?
no, I didn't do anything. I just walked around, and everyone thought I was pretty, and
Oh
they
my
just took
gosh.
pictures.
They took pictures of you?
Yeah.
We have our very own screen film.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Vice stuff. So Vice contacted
They
the
contacted
pageant
me through
group, or they
Instagram.
contacted you directly?
So Vice had contacted the Miss Earth system, so they knew this was happening. And Miss Earth did talk to them like, okay, these are the girls, like, go ahead and find them. And it kind of felt like a little like it felt more personal. So when they reached out to you, it was like go time. Like, they reached out to people via email, but most of us, they reached out to us on our social media accounts first.
Yeah.
And if you saw it and you thought it was a spam, like, that's your fault type of thing.
Yeah.
But
was it coming from Vice, their like verified account and everything?
No, it came from their producer.
Their producer.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's why
Yeah.
you were even a little more suspicious. Like,
Right.
why are they reaching out to me? What is this?
Right.
But no, you just kind of do your research.
Yeah.
And, you start talking to them. You get, we had phone calls, video calls. We did a video call, too. Once I had the
Right.
video call, I was like, this is legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had to, answer.
For sure.
Like, every time Katie reached out to you, you answered.
Yeah.
But I
sure.
think that's a lot. That's, even with, job opportunities.
Yeah.
A lot of the jobs I've gotten, if I hadn't been, on my feet about it, I probably wouldn't have worked in the amazing places I've worked.
Right. Like reacting to the people if they reach out to you on LinkedIn or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, people I get job offers on LinkedIn all the time.
Yeah.
And if I don't entertain it right away, they've already given it to somebody who answered.
Right.
Because, there's so many engineers out there.
Yeah.
I think as an engineer, I feel like I'm like a tool.
A tool?
Yeah, I feel like I'm the tool.
Like
yeah.
an instrument because you have your
Yeah.
technical skill set that they want. That's
Exactly.
what's adding
Yes.
value.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Dude, I had a similar thing. Did I tell you about my Love is Blind story?
No.
I don't think I've told it on here before, but it was similar. So I was going to be
Wait, you're going to be on Love is Blind?
the season 1 before it was even a show. And reality TV is, I'm probably glad I didn't, but it was a similar process in terms of how I found out about it. It was I was living in Atlanta at the time, and it was an Atlanta-based thing for the first season, and they were looking for people on Tinder, I think, and on Instagram.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
So
you get a message.
they were swiping on Tinder?
Potentially, yeah.
Love is Blind had a Tinder account.
I think they might have. Or not them, but the casting people.
Okay.
The casting company
Yeah.
who they hired. Which, again, adds a set layer of separation. And also, Love is Blind wasn't even a show yet. So, the idea that, I guess these productions, they'll invest money to produce it, and then they'll try and sell it to someone. But anyway, the casting people reached out to me on Instagram, and they're looking for people in a certain age range that were single. And I think that's why, they use dating sites to
That
find
makes
people.
sense. Yeah.
And you kind of have to find the right kind of person, because it'd be a person that would be willing and able to take a month. I think it was 6 weeks off of their work.
That's a
I
long
think
time.
similar to Bachelor, you have to
Yeah.
take time off to shoot and stuff.
I want to put you on Bachelor.
Oh, I would love.
I really want to. I've been telling Bill and Ben this. I'm just like, yo,
I'm too old
can
for
we
the
put?
Bachelor. What's the age limit?
I don't know.
I'm 34 now.
I don't
That
know,
might
but
be-
one of my pageant sisters, she wants to be on The Bachelor, so we're all filling out forms for her to be
Hell
on
yeah,
it.
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
if you have 50 people telling
Dude,
them this
yeah.
girl is it,
Yeah.
and we have 50 friends,
Right.
we can get you on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, numbers.
Have a bunch of
numbers.
reference letters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
numbers matter.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I went through this process. So I was suspicious too, because it's like a casting agent. Everybody wants to think they're going to be on something. So everybody be like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm special.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever. And then I was bored. I wasn't doing anything. So I was like, yeah, sure. I'll do the interviews. And we did some Zoom ones. And as soon as I saw the Zoom ones, kind of like you, I was like, this seems legit.
Yeah.
And then they advanced me. And then there was a psych evaluation where you had to like drive to this place and meet with the clinical psychologist and take the Minnesota psych evaluation to make sure you weren't crazy, I guess.
Oh, okay.
And then they made you sign this thing after that. And they said, if you sign, like you need to commit with your intent to do the show. Because if you move any farther, like the next step was crew coming out and filming like day in the life stuff.
Yep.
And they're starting to invest money. So if you bail at that point, they're going to lose. So when they put me to that, I said, I called my corporate HR to see if like, what you thought about it. And they said, it sounds cool, but you forego editing rights. Yeah. So like, however they portray you on the show is how it's going to come across.
That's what happened with Vice.
Else.
Yeah. None of us knew how we were going to be portrayed.
Right.
We didn't know what the story was going to be. Like nothing. They literally took like hours of footage, hours of B-roll. You did not know what was going to show up on there.
Exactly.
It's a risk. Yeah. I had to talk to a lawyer before I signed my documents.
Really? You talked to a lawyer?
Yeah, and my lawyers were just like, they're not giving you any monetary value. What is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were going to pay us for the show a little bit, not a ton, but
most actors don't get paid a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I said no. I was like, this is probably a janky show. I looked online. I looked at a lot of the other reality like dating shows that were kind of like, they're kind of cheesy. And they're like, what are the other ones? Like there's one where you get married, like Married at First Sight, maybe. Is that one? Or
Married at First Sight. That's a hard one.
Yeah, I think that's.
I wouldn't agree.
Yeah, you get married. Like they set you up, and you get married. Like the day you meet them is when you marry them. Like that's the premise of that show.
Honestly, I think my parents would be about that.
Yeah. You're.
My Bengali parents.
Yeah,
they'd be like, yeah, when you meet somebody, you marry them, and then you live the rast of your lives as a married couple.
Honestly,
not as boyfriend,
that might
girlfriend.
work out better than overthinking the shit out of it on the front end.
Exactly. It's just like lately I've been like, yeah, I just want to be with somebody who's just like, are you in it? I'm in it.
Yeah.
Are we doing life together now?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, compadre. We're doing life together now.
Yeah.
Where you move, I move. We figure it out no matter what.
Yeah. Exactly. You just got to lock yourself in.
Exactly. Just lock yourself in and go.
And then that commitment helps you figure out the rest of it.
Yeah.
You never make the commitment to put up the framework. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just take a leap.
Just take a leap of faith.
Just go on reality TV and marry the first person they put in front of you.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Hey, the universe just brought that person to you.
Yeah.
Trust the universe.
Yeah.
Trust the universe.
It's got nothing to do with vanity or wanting to be on TV. But anyway, so yeah, I said no, and then this is like, it's not a regret, but I think it's kind of funny what happened, because that was it was like 2018 when they shot, and then it went a whole year and no show, and they said this was going to be Netflix, so everybody was like, oh my gosh, that's big. And then February 14th of 2020, Valentine's Day, Love is Blind aired, and I saw a friend of mine who was at the gym who did it, and so I was like following his social media just curiously, like, okay, he did this, like, this is going to be pathetic, right?
Oh no, that's what you thought?
Yeah. But I was like, February 14th, 2020. Remember what else happened on February 14th, 2020? Or into March? That was when COVID. Yeah. So COVID hit at the exact time that Love is Blind aired. And because of that, there was no sports on. There was nothing to watch. Everybody was at home.
Yeah.
And Love is Blind and Tiger King became like the two biggest shows in the world, like on Netflix. So I saw my buddy, he's not even a friend really, but what was his name? People know. Mark on Love is Blind season 1. He had like 1,000 Instagram followers when he started the show, and in the matter of like 3 weeks, he had 800,000. I wasn't even doing comedy at this point, so it wouldn't have mattered. But
could you imagine if
that'd be so cool
if you had 800,000 followers who were just following your comedy? Then your comedy career would have been easier.
Way easier. But the comedy would still be shitty. Like, you don't just get good at comedy.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, have you heard about the girl on The Bachelorette? Or she was The Bachelorette, and now she's doing stand-up?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Who is she?
I forget her name. This is why you need a producer. But you want to Google it? No, she's really interesting.
I'm actually going to Google two things. I'm going to look at the age limit for The Bachelor first. I'm ADD, so
that's
so
cool.
The tab is open in my head, and I need to close it.
Yeah.
Age limit Bachelor.
And then Google Bachelorette stand up. But yeah, she's super cute, obviously.
There's no
there's no age
max.
limit?
You just have to be 21 years old minimum.
Okay.
And the oldest Bachelor was actually 40 years old. Byron
Dude,
Velvick.
tight.
You have enough time. We're putting you on The Bachelor.
Ah, nice. Okay.
Okay, and now there's a comedian, a girl, a female
Bachelorette comedian. And her name should pop right up. But I thought that was really cool. Like she, I don't think she found love on The Bachelor. She like ended up single afterwards, or like the engagement didn't work out. So
Katie Thurston.
Yeah, Katie Thurston. Shout out. So she started doing stand up, but I think it's going to be hard. It may be hard for her because like she already has like millions of followers. So like, but you don't just automatically get good at stand up. Like it takes years.
She's 32.
Ah, well, maybe we'll hit her up. Katie Thurston, if you're watching this, holla.
She's pretty.
She's pretty though.
She's pretty.
She's pretty. But no, I thought that was cool how she found stand up and everything. But yeah, so that was my brush with reality TV.
I feel like you have more experience with TV.
What do you mean?
The one time you like acted.
Oh, yeah. I did.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
are you just waiting on an opportunity, or it's just something you've put on like the back burner?
I don't try to do acting stuff.
Right.
If somebody asks me to be in something, I'll do it. And the only reason I got asked a couple of times is they were predominantly black productions and they needed a white guy. And Sauce Got Jokes, who's a comic from Columbia. Well, now I live in Charlotte. Knew the guy who was producing the thing, and he's like, "Hey, I got a white guy that would probably do it."
Now you know how every brown actor feels, because every brown actor ends up being the token brown person.
Yeah,
they get casted because they're brown.
Right. I get casted in this
because
stuff
I'm
white. Yeah, it's certainly not my acting ability because I'm not that good at acting yet. I don't do it that much. But
would you say when you're on stage doing comedy, you don't think that's like slightly acting?
It's sort of, but I try to be as real and authentic as possible, so it doesn't feel like acting. Like I try to make it seem like I'm just talking to you.
Yeah.
So that is different than having to become a different person authentically.
Yeah,
I
get
kind
that.
of trippy because you have to like be the other person and say it like they would, and really just. And also, the thing that was hard for me was memorizing lines.
That's where it's hard for me to understand that aspect where these lines are memorized. Your jokes are memorized, right? So how do you make it genuine as if you're saying it for the first time?
Yeah.
If it's something that's been memorized.
For sure.
And that.
Have you done any acting before?
I've been in like plays, like theater plays.
Cool.
Yeah. We had a Filipino student association in college. And I played a role of like one of the Filipino little like siblings.
Nice.
Yeah. We had to wear like Filipino wear. We had to learn like a couple of like the words, like their food. It was a
Did
really
you have to
cool
speak
experience.
a different language?
No.
Or just Filipino
No, you
words?
just had to learn a couple of words.
Okay.
Yeah. In Tagalog.
Yeah.
Tagalog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My friend Jake Kelly, he's an actor and he lives in I think LA now, but I asked him because I had to do this one thing. I had to play a racist teacher in this Segregation to Justice. It's not that good. I don't think my delivery was that good. But anyway, I had to do this, and it was like 2 pages of like stuff I was supposed to say, and it was really like racist stuff to this little girl who I was accusing of cheating on a test. Oh. And it was really intense, and I was like, do you have any advice? Like, how do I do this? He's like, first of all, memorize your lines.
Oh, yes.
Memorize the shit out of your lines to where you can say them without thinking about it. That's kind of feels like stand-up, too. Like, you got to know it so well that it's like you can just deliver it.
Yeah.
And then that was the biggest thing he said. Just make sure you don't need to think about what you have to say. And then once you do that, just
we had that with walking, too. For pageant walking.
Yeah?
They say you have to know your walk so well that so we don't see you thinking about your next step.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing how people can tell that.
People can tell. Like,
they can tell if something's forced or unnatural.
Yeah. Or they could tell if you're thinking. But it's just a step, you know?
Yeah.
If you're just thinking, period, people could see you thinking. And it's like, what?
Yeah, dude. People just watching you is like the most brutal.
It's very vulnerable. It's very vulnerable. You have to be very vulnerable.
You'd be very vulnerable.
Because you're being watched.
Right. People are so judgy. And they
Oh,
can't even
people are
help
very
it.
judgy. Yeah.
Like, it's just that what they're processing. They'll form judgments and opinions based on anything they see.
But that's the
They're
human
very
brain.
perceptive.
We're conditioned
Yeah.
to observe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're conditioned to judge. I think society has conditioned us to judge. But in a more scientific, like outer like realm thing, I think it's just that we are tuned to making observations.
Yes.
We have to, because it's part of survival.
Yeah. Evolutionarily, you're constantly like, you're processing data constantly.
Yes, because our brains are computers. They're supercomputers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that to me is what makes stand-up so great, because you got a bunch of supercomputers in the crowd watching you.
You have a bunch of
And they're just like,
supercomputers watching the
And you got to make sure,
supercomputer.
okay, you guys all, am I registering? Do you guys like me? Do you guys think that's funny? Like, if I, and it's funny because that doesn't usually work if you're trying to get them to like vibe. Like, you got to just be, and then they'll.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're less concerned about
The less concerned you are, the better you end up doing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. When I do my walks, like when I'm just walking around, like, I'll be like with like my modeling coaches, I'll be with my directors.
Yeah.
It's the time where I'm not walking, that I'm just chilling or hanging out. They're like, right there. Do
Yeah,
that.
do that.
And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just chilling.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Have you seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
No.
No. Okay. There's a scene where he's trying to surf, and he's like, no, do less. Like, he's teaching him how to surf on the dry land. Whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Do less.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. I think it's more about think less. I don't think it's like do less. I think it's think less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But that's the thing. All these little like tidbits that we're talking about right now, it's applied to everything.
It is.
Whether it's comedy or your music or like
Football.
modeling or football. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
You hear about how football is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I only ever played in college. I played on the defensive side of the football. So you played linebacker. So when you play linebacker, the offense is like you're watching the offense across from you, and there's 11 guys lined up, and then you have your defensive linemen in front of you, and they're the ball is going to be snapped. So you're like 5 yards behind where the line of scrimmage is, and as soon as the ball's snapped, it's like chaos. So like you have to like have your technique so nailed down that you're doing the right things technique wise, but you're moving instinctually.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about what you're supposed to do, the play will be gone before you even can react to it.
Yeah.
So you got to have your technique down with so much repetition, down to the steps you take. So when the ball is snapped, as a linebacker, you're supposed to take 2 read steps. So you take 1, 2. And by the time you take your second read step, you should know where the play is going and then react from there. And there shouldn't be any wasted movement, because any wasted step, like it's a fast enough game that it'll be. So you need to like look at the helmets of the offensive line, because if their helmets pop up, that means they're pass blocking.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it's probably going to be a pass. So if their helmets pop up, you take your steps and then you back out of it like that.
Okay.
If their helmets go down, it's a run, and then you have to see where's the run going. So then you look for one helmet that pops up, because if one helmet pops up, it means one offensive lineman is stepping up and then going that way. And if he pulls, that means that's telling you the play is going that way. So you read that helmet and then you run that way.
Yeah.
If helmet's down, it's a run, you just run forward and just blow up whatever you see. Yeah, but if you see a puller or some other signal, like you got to just like have soft eyes, is what our coaches would say. Like have soft vision. You're not looking at any one particular thing, but you're going to notice something, like the darting.
Like even your peripherals. Yeah.
Yeah. He used to show us a picture of Mike Singletary, because he was a famous linebacker for the Chicago Bears, and any sort of any picture that he took of him, his eyeballs would be like he'd be like, he was constantly looking.
Yeah. Like owl eyes.
Right. Yeah. Because you could be the fastest guy in the world, but if your vision is bad, you're not going to be good at like reacting to the plays and executing and making plays. So defense, it's all about reading and reacting.
Yeah.
And you can't be unnatural or second guess anything, or you'll be fucked. So that's football. Thanks for letting me talk about football. I never talk about that, but
no, absolutely. These are just
does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. You're reading. That's the thing. That's the other cool thing. You're talking about how you got to read that helmet. It's like how you got to read the room for comedy. You
Read
got
the
to
room.
read. Like for
Know
me,
where you are.
I just gave a speech at a fashion show.
Oh,
it
what
was
was your speech
amazing.
about?
It was about sustainability.
Okay.
I was very proud of it.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of the speech
Give me
because
the speech.
because I think it's a good takeaway. I think it's a hack. I talked about giving everybody like an imaginary butterfly net. It's kind of like putting on your imaginary thinking cap, but I'm giving you an imaginary butterfly net.
Okay.
And basically all the things you see and do and the concepts you learn when you're at somewhere, like an event, like an art gallery, at a museum, or even at a convention, always make sure to have that butterfly net because you want to catch ideas.
Okay.
You want to catch ideas, and when you catch it, take it with you. You know, think of it as a precious little butterfly.
Yeah.
And you want to take it with you. You don't want to forget about it.
For sure.
You know, like when you go on work trips,
Yeah.
so much is happening. You know,
Right.
you're getting so exposed to so many different like nuances, people, companies.
Yeah.
You always want to make sure that they're the little thoughts and ideas that you capture that you want to take with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I put that in a speech, and it sounded so beautiful. Like
Yeah.
after I was done giving the speech, they were like, "That was so pretty."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that metaphor of the butterfly.
Yeah.
Because Jerry Seinfeld he has a similar metaphor about ideas that they're little mice that he's talking about it creatively for stand-up, but similar
Yeah.
concept of like ideas for jokes or
Yeah.
anything, you know,
They're like little
they kind of just quietly are walking
Yeah.
around your brain or your
Yeah.
house, and you the only thing you have to do is just put your foot on its tail and say no, don't go.
Oh, that's so
Don't
cute.
go. I'm gonna keep you. Remind me of the butterfly. You gotta catch the butterfly.
Yeah.
And keep it safe.
I also mentioned
Pin it to a board.
exactly
That's
pin it to
kill
a board. But I also did mention in the speech that some of these butterflies, some of them might just fly into your net. Some
Yeah.
things just land, and you can't forget it. But other times you have to put in the effort to
Yeah.
actually keep it
Right.
and catch it.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you take a lot of notes in your phone?
A lot. Like my
Yeah.
brain's always thinking. That's what I'm saying. That's why I do a lot more journaling. Always carrying that journal. Because sometimes my words can either become a joke, or it could become a song lyric, or it could just become poetry. Like it
Right.
could become anything.
Right.
Depending on what I want it to become. But at the end of the day, all the baseline is that it all started from a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It can even become art. If there's like something I'm thinking of and words aren't enough, that's when you'll have to paint it or draw it or sketch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get it out.
To get it out. Exactly. There's just so much in each one of us, you know, that
For
just
sure.
needs to be put out.
Yeah. Absolutely. So have you always been creative?
I'm not an only child, but I had a lot of lonely years. My parents didn't have another child until I was 9.
Okay.
So I
you
feel
were the
like
firstborn. And
yeah,
no
I was the
other siblings till
firstborn,
9.
and I was also the first one to come to America.
Okay.
So I was alone. I had no relatives here. All I had was mom, dad.
So you're born in Bangladesh?
Yeah, I was born in Bangladesh.
Okay.
All my cousins are there. Well,
Wow.
they recently, some of them like immigrated over to Canada,
Mm-hmm.
to Australia. Some are going to college in Australia. But, you know, in America, I don't have any relatives.
Yeah?
No uncle, no aunt,
Wait, I thought your
nobody.
parents were in New York.
Aside from my mom, dad.
oh, your mom
Yeah.
and dad. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
it. So it was just my mom, dad, me.
Yeah?
You know, and like though I feel like those early years of development where it's just you,
Yeah.
you know, in a foreign country, learning a different language,
Yeah.
like you resort to art
Yeah.
a lot.
To express yourself.
Yeah, to express yourself. For me, it was poetry and art.
Okay.
So I became like a big wordsmith. Like my
Yeah.
dad, even like recently, like now, every time I go back home, my dad will be like, "Hey, I want to make this post. Can you make it sound good?" You know, because you know you're like a poet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
And
that.
my dad would play this game with me where like if we had guests over or anything, he'd make me stand in front of the guests and he'd be like, tell her, give her a word. Just give her a word. She's going to make a whole poem. I'm like, give her a word. Yeah. And it was
love
like
that.
a little game that like I do. Yeah.
How early did you start writing poetry?
6?
6?
Yeah.
Do you
'cause-
have any poems you wrote when you were 6?
Yeah. One of them I actually won like $1,000 on reading Rainbow.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I think that was like the 2nd grade.
What
Yeah.
poem did you write?
Oh, I don't remember it.
What was it about? Do you know?
I think about my grandpa.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to
Very
write a
cute.
lot about my grandpa.
Okay.
A lot of things that resorted
Yeah.
back to him because I never got to meet him, but he's always been like this amazing man that everyone always talks about.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice tribute.
So all I could do was take everyone else's thoughts and the stories they would tell of him, and then kind of make it feel like that's the way I could connect to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like I can't wait. Like, I don't know. I would like to believe heaven exists.
Yeah.
I would like to believe that.
Yeah, me too.
And he's somebody I'm really excited to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How old were you when you moved to the United States?
The first time I came here was when I was like 2 years old.
Okay.
But then my mom kept getting homesick. So we'd
Mm-hmm.
like go back to Bangladesh for like months at a time, come back, go back
Okay.
for months at a time, come back.
Uh-huh.
It was like very like inconsistent.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like eventually,
Here
like,
to stay at age how old?
what do you mean?
When were you here to stay? Like
Here to stay. I would say when my mom was finally like, you know, her siblings talked to her and it's just like, look, your life is there.
Yeah.
I think I was like 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I was like 7.
That's pretty late to have like this kind of like, you know,
yeah. This kind of like movement
this
of
uncertain
unsurety.
sort of
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Wow. So that probably, you know.
Yeah, but all that moving around, it helped me like, I think it gave me a lot of like exposure to just seeing the world, observing it, and then writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I also wrote poetry when I was little.
Aw,
Yeah, as young as
really?
4th grade, maybe a little younger.
What kind of poems would you write?
Oh, sappy stuff. I've read
Sappy
poems
stuff?
about girls I had crushes on.
Aww,
Yeah.
in like the 7th grade.
Uh-huh.
Or like
I've read
first
poems
grade.
about having anxiety and being depressed. It's
How
like
old were you?
5th grade,
Oh
6th grade,
my god,
puberty. Like I had a lot. Yeah, dude. I was.
that's so cool. Do you still have them? Like
My
written
dad
in-
has them on our family
Aw.
computer.
like he kept them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some of them were like a little bit like I was trying to be self-important with the word choices.
Mm-hmm.
But I like them. I like looking back that
Aw.
I had that, like, you know, I had those little emotions in me back then.
Mm-hmm.
But and I also moved around, not nearly that, like, but we moved a lot as a kid.
Within Michigan or other states?
Well, other states. So I was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and then we moved to Rockford after a couple of years, which was still in Grand Rapids. So we changed schools, and then we moved to Green Bay, Wisconsin, which is why I'm such a big Packers fan.
Okay.
Yeah, and we moved there when I was in 1st grade through middle school. So that was a big chunk of my life, elementary and middle school. And then my dad lost his job and he opened his own company back in Michigan. So
That's
then
the one he has now.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
he that has done well for him. So he moved us back to Holland, Michigan. So I started over with all new friends in high school. Like I didn't know anyone going into high school. And then college, and then since college I've moved several times too. So college was at Hillsdale, and then Charlotte, Atlanta, and now
Yeah.
here. So I've never really spent longer than, I don't know, 8 years in one spot.
Okay.
Which is that frequent? I mean, 4 years. I
Some
don't know.
people stay in the same
How-
city for their whole lives.
I know, it's crazy
So,
to me. How long have you lived here?
It's about to hit 3 years.
3 years?
Because I moved here when COVID started.
That's
that
crazy.
February.
I thought you had lived here longer than that.
No, I came here when COVID started. I started my job first week of March,
Okay.
2020.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was with Lockheed for almost 2 years, and then that's when I switched to BMW after 2 years.
Okay.
Just finished my year there.
Yeah, she's
So-
also an engineer, badass engineer. Yes. Lockheed, BMW, killer. Love
Thank
it.
Thank you.
Wicked smart. Yeah.
Not that smart.
Yeah, but I
No.
wonder, you know, to me, it's like it's nice to move around because you get like different experiences. You see and
Yeah.
process the world from different places.
Yeah.
But I also wonder too if it's like if it's bad to do that too much. If it's like, oh, you have wanderlust, or you're like, you know, you can't settle down. I don't know.
There's no rule book to life, you know?
Yeah.
That's the best part. There's no rule book to life because we are all our own books. So like there's just, I think that's a blessing that there's no rule book.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because imagine, like, one of my favorite books is The Giver.
The Giver.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lois Lowry,
Yes.
The Giver. And everyone's lives are written out for them. Like, essentially, you know, like, there's the whole thought that of destiny and how God has all our lives and plans written out for us. But to believe that if society were to write a book for you, and you had to follow it.
Boring.
It is boring. You know what's gonna happen. Somebody's
Yeah.
gonna leak it.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna leak it, and you're gonna be like, "Shit, I read my own book. I amount to nothing."
Yeah. I mean, I think that's when people tend to get the most depressed, is when their book of life becomes somebody else's story
Yes.
and not their own.
Yes, exactly.
It is so hard to choose what you actually want in
Yeah.
life. You know, that's
Yeah.
a philosophical point, but like, that was hard for me, choosing what you want to make.
Mm-hmm.
Not what you think other people will like.
Yeah.
But what you want to make.
Yeah.
That is so hard.
It is so hard, but once you do it, it is so powerful. Like
Yeah.
growing up as a brown girl, your parents, your entire family wants you to be a doctor. You
Yeah.
are tuned. You are wired to becoming a doctor. You are wired to go into healthcare, into medicine, no matter what. I didn't decide until I was doing biomedical engineering, just to give myself that 1 foot out.
Wow.
I did all my pre-med recs just to make my parents happy.
Yeah.
Just to keep them with the hope that I'll go into healthcare.
Yeah.
I'll be in medicine.
Yeah.
You know? But even doing those prereqs, I wish I didn't do them, because
Yeah.
taking orgo was a big stressor.
Yeah. Organic
Like,
chemistry?
yes.
Yeah. That's really hard.
Yes, it's so hard. But spending hours doing that while still doing my engineering classes,
Right.
that was severe. That felt like senior year of high school, all taking 3 APs at a time.
Yeah.
It felt like that, but in college.
Yeah.
So,
Were your parents
It was-
disappointed when you decided you weren't going to do?
oh God, so disappointed.
Really?
I
What
have to hear from my mom even till now. Like,
You're not a doctor?
yeah, every
Oh my
day,
gosh.
every single,
Is
yeah.
that hard on you?
It is. It is. But
sorry.
but but now I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the one thing that I feel like they can say that. They can mutter it as like a second thought type of thing. Or I think they're just so used to saying it
Yeah.
that you got to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, it's kind of lost its...
Yeah, because they have learned over the years to tell me that they're proud of me. They didn't used to do that before, but like through our own growths, every time I pray, I'm big into praying. Like
Yeah.
I believe in prayer.
Yeah.
I pray to God. I pray to Allah. I'm Muslim, so I pray to Allah, and I'm just like, today all I want is for you to give my parents an open mind. I want you to please just like, and I feel like I want to share this with you, because I feel like it's a very good prayer to have for anybody that you love.
Yeah.
You don't want to pray for them to be somebody that they're not, but you do want to pray that they have an open mind.
Yeah. That's such a good prayer.
Yeah. I think everyone should pray for that, if anything.
Yeah. I had 2 comments. The one was, you ever seen the movie The Gambler?
The Gambler.
Great movie if you haven't seen it. It's with Matt
Okay.
Damon. He plays a poker player.
Okay.
Or wait, maybe Rounders. He's in a couple of movies with... Yeah, I think it's Rounders. But anyway, he plays this really like smart law student, I believe law student who plays poker. And he's talking to one of the professors in his law program who's like an older guy, and he's Jewish. And he's sitting there talking with the guy, and the guy's explaining to him how his parents wanted him to become a what's the Jewish leader? The guy a synagogue guy. Not a Jewish priest. I'm totally blanking.
Oh.
A rabbi.
Rabbi. Yes.
He wants-
Yes.
Whole life, his parents say, you're going to be a rabbi. Your father was a rabbi. Well, but, and he tried. He dedicated himself. He was staying, he would go to the synagogue and as a child and teen. And at a certain point, he realized his heart wasn't in it. And he decided to pursue law. And Matt Damon was asking, like, how did your parents react? And he said, well, they were devastated. Like, they basically cut me off from their lives.
Yeah.
And much more extreme than,
Yeah.
what sounds like yours was, but it was still, similar. And and this was this really hard thing for
My
him.
parents did cut me out, but that's another story.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Not because
So-
of the doctor thing.
Right.
When I came out to them, they cut me out of their lives.
well, that's even similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very painful, clearly, to this Jewish lawyer. And Matt Damon said, "Wow, if you could do it all over again, would you make a different choice?" And he looked back and he said, "What choice?" And I thought that was really powerful.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't have a choice. You have to be yourself. Like, there's no other way to be.
Yeah.
So I love that. Oh, I love that scene.
I have so many movies that I have to see now because of all the references you made.
I know. I love movies. I love like coming of age movies or like where
I love
the
coming of age
protagonist,
stories.
like,
Yeah.
learn something
Yep.
and you can kind of attach on to like what they're getting out of it.
Yeah, it's called the Bill Dunks Grossman.
What is it?
Bill Dunks Grossman.
I don't know what that is.
That is a category of books that's all about coming of age. I
Yeah.
love that word because it's
Yeah.
like so fun to say.
Yeah.
But let me give you the full definition.
Okay. What was the other thing I was gonna say? I mean, yeah, praying that they have an open mind. Oh yeah, my mom.
A novel. Ready?
Okay, yeah,
Sorry.
I'm ready.
Bill Dunks Grossman. A novel dealing with one person's formative years or spiritual education.
Okay, yeah, like Good Will Hunting would be
Yes.
one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that movie a lot. My mom came to watch me do stand up on Monday. That was the other thing.
I heard. Yeah. Bill said David's mommy was in town, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's random. What'd
Yeah,
you
I
come
know.
for?
She was visiting, and she told me she was coming through because she was visiting my brother who lives in North Carolina and my sister who's in Virginia. So she like planned a pit stop for Monday,
Aw.
and I was like, two choices. I could say, let's just go out to dinner. I'll skip stand up
Mm-hmm.
tonight, or because that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to just have dinner with mom.
Yeah.
Or I could invite her to stand up, and she could see like what
You do. Yeah.
And I was so nervous because part of it was, my parents are also religious.
Mm-hmm.
What is said at open mics is horribly offensive. And I wasn't sure how she'd take it.
Disclaimer.
Right. I wasn't sure if I would do bad or
Yeah.
if like, because you can always do bad and like the show could just be a bad show or like she could judge it. And she came and it was the most like magical night. It was really like, I really appreciate all the comics. Like if anybody's listening who was there, like they were so great. Like they were so nice to her and like a lot of the comics called her out on stage by saying, I'm sorry, David's mom, or like, and everybody laughed.
Aw.
And it was like a lot of love in the room.
Yeah.
And she was so sweet. And I felt no judgment. I felt no kind of like, I felt like accepted, as corny as that sounds.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was big for me. Like I needed that. And I feel better.
Yeah.
And now I feel weird because like this is really kind of, sorry, I'm just going on.
No, go. This is,
Yeah.
I love hearing it.
Yeah. So on like the last couple of days since she was here, I want to throw out a lot of my material. Cause I'm like, I don't want to be, I don't know. I just had that thought like, I don't have to shit up.
Yeah.
I don't have to be like as self-deprecating in some areas or like, I was like, I want to start over. I feel
Maybe
pretty
your
good.
mommy was your wake up call.
Yeah, maybe that was a break, or maybe it was just a thing. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. There's always that one moment that makes you want to do things a little differently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's kind of something that I've been thinking about a lot. So it's not like I hadn't been working through a lot of that stuff because it takes time to like process
Yeah.
how you actually feel about
Yeah.
it. But so it wasn't just like all at once, but it was just so great. And I was like,
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that so hard. It's like it happens every time I can have my friends and my family in the same room. Mm-hmm. There's always a change that happens in my life and how I think. That's what it is for me.
worlds colliding, right? Because your family
when a
views
world
things
collides, exactly different
Yeah.
than your friends, and those are things you usually keep apart. But once they're together in that same room, you have to be your like the most yourself.
Yeah, because you're a
It
different
forces you.
It does, because you're a different person in front of your family as you are in front of your friends.
So when your worlds collide, the person you are, the challenge that gives you, I feel like I love those moments. It happens so rarely, but when it happens, I remember them forever.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's big for stand up. I know a lot of comics, like when my mom came, like they were saying, I never invite my mom to shows. Because it's like you don't want to be your real self in front of your parents always.
My pageants, I
Yeah.
don't send my parents pictures, nothing.
No?
No, but my mom's sisters and stuff, they'll go like look for it through social media and like
Yeah.
Facebook, and then they'll show it to her. But
Yeah.
I never send it myself. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, to have that go okay was just really like cathartic. And
Yeah,
so
that's
that
the
was
right
good.
word. It's cathartic.
Cathartic, yeah.
Yeah.
I think similar happens when you're like dating someone and you take them home to meet the family.
Oh my God. Yes.
Isn't that
Yes.
so-
That again, that's your worlds colliding. It is
Yeah.
so, it's it's so powerful,
'Cause-
but at the same time
'cause
it's scary.
it's scary.
And you're kind of like,
Because you're just like, you know, little sweet Samiha to your family.
yeah.
Not a doctor, but that's okay. We still love her. And then here comes Bill.
Oh my God. That was
Oh.
scary. That was scary.
I think it's. I would imagine it being cool. I mean, obviously, I'm not a parent, but I kind of feel like if you're a parent, like it's cool, like to see what makes you happy. You know,
I would
see what
think
makes
so.
your daughter.
Oh yeah,
happy.
my mom saw me be happy
Yeah.
because there was this one moment where I think my parents were joking around. And they're like, "Oh, I think she likes Bill," and my mom's just like, "Oh, she really likes Bill,"
Yeah.
because she's never seen me that happy,
Yeah.
and it was.
That should be the test. Like, are they happy?
I
You
feel
know?
like that should be the question. Like,
Yeah.
I know it, as a person who might be a parent in the future,
Mm-hmm.
if there's one thing I want is to make sure that my kids are happy,
Yeah.
no matter what they're doing.
Right.
Like, as long as they're happy.
Yeah. And I think.
I feel like if you're happy, you already know you're safe. You already know you've got your like monetary finances covered. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like pure happiness. If I could see that little twinkle in their eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's right. I think. I mean.
But that's also for my friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's also for my friends. A lot of my friends. I just want them to be happy.
You happy.
Yeah, do it.
It can't be that bad. Yeah. Yeah. I think the parenting stuff. Yeah. It's. You want to make sure they check the boxes. Like,
Yeah.
get good grades, do that stuff. But that's not everything.
Yeah.
Love yourself, and I want you to be
Yeah.
separate from
Yeah.
convention. 'Cause-
Yeah, because like we're people who are very different than the conventional
Mm-hmm.
people in the world, and so we can't expect any less from our kids.
Yeah, if you try to force yourself into a cookie cutter thing, you're gonna be freaking miserable. Unless you like the cookie cutter. I mean, there's some people
like
that
it.
do. There's
some people like it.
that
They're just
live
wired
very-
differently. I think we're all
Right.
just wired differently,
Mhm.
and whatever is gonna make you happy, so it's gonna make you
Yeah,
happy.
I have a
I think
tendency-
we were talking about this one day,
Yeah, were we?
where we were talking about like when something makes you happy or when you know you love that person.
Mm-hmm.
Like these are things that our bodies are just wired in a certain way. Where when we see it, we like it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know it when you see it.
You know it when you see
Don't
it.
second guess. Just leave it in the rear
Yes.
view. All the judgment and
Yes.
preconceived shit. Yeah. Easier said than done, but when you can find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot, what else was I gonna say? I love these topics. I feel like we get down paths like this a lot.
How are we doing on time?
We are.
Oh wow! Don't you have to go to Asheville?
Yes, I do.
I think
yeah.
we went past an hour.
That's okay. Tell me about stand-up real quick. What is that? Because you've done stand-up and you've gone up on stage, and I always love watching you on stage.
Thank you.
Because you're so sweet and likable, and that's like the number one thing as
Yeah.
like a baseline
Thank
of
you.
comedy.
Yeah.
Is to be your authentic self and be happy and likable.
Yeah.
And you have all of those things, and you also write jokes. I mean, what has been your experience like doing it? And how do you view stand-up? Do you view it as something you want to do seriously? Do you want to do it just for fun occasionally,
Yeah.
or when you feel like called to like shine your light? Like what?
So for pageants, I'm spending like $8,000 to $10,000 just to go and get my 5 minutes to shine.
Yeah.
So when I see a stage, like if I'm ever with like friends going to a comedy show or with Bill going to a comedy show, it's just like that's free.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take it.
Yeah. of
Because if
course.
I'm spending 8 to 10K developing myself as a person, I'll take my free 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because what it does is, for me, what doing stand-up does for me is, I think you should include humor in everything you do.
Yeah.
Even for my biggest goal in life is to actually give speeches. Like I want to
Okay.
give speeches. I want to be a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And to incorporate humor, it's just okay. So here's how I incorporated humor into the most recent speech I gave in Charlotte.
Okay. Yeah.
It was basically about pausing, because when you make a pause, that's when you change your decision. When you pause, you think of something a little differently.
Yeah.
So for me, I said this thing about, pause the next time you're trying to grab a crop top at Forever 21. Pause the next time. Why are you laughing already?
Oh, I thought that was part of the.
Pause the next time
Is
you
buying
reach.
a crop top for 21 not a good idea? I don't know.
Just pause,
Pause, yeah.
and then pause. What if you don't need it? What if you're just buying it because you're like something else to add to my closet?
Right.
Pause the
You
next
don't
time
know.
you're reaching for that plastic bag. If there's a paper option, take it. If you can carry it in your hand, take it in your hand. But also pause to think the next time you pick up a tomato and it's shaped funny. Does it really matter that my tomato is shaped funny? Does it really matter? There's so much food waste in the world because a tomato is deformed.
Really?
Because
people are
vegetables
looking for the perfect tomato?
Yes, but a lot of vegetables are actually deformed. And so there's actually companies that sell deformed fruits and vegetables so they don't get thrown out. There's so much food waste in the world.
Oh my god.
Like, David, this is a serious issue.
Dude, we need to
This is a serious
get
issue.
all the fucked up tomatoes.
So then all my
We need
friends
to find a home. That's so funny to me. That's like
Yeah, but look, here's
like
the
all the
line.
dogs that
Here's
don't
the
get
line where I
adopted.
had to include humor in my
Okay,
speech.
okay.
Tomatoes deserve equal rights too. Yeah. Two
Yeah,
of my
that's really
friends,
cute. I
between
love that.
my best friend Evan and Bill, between the two of them, we worked that one in to
Yeah?
the speech.
Oh, I love
And this
that.
was this was a professional speech at a fashion show, but I incorporated my humor.
Did it get laughs?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I love that.
and it made my night. Just to
Yeah.
hear people, because after that, everything I said, a million more nods, acceptance.
100%.
And I feel like that's what just doing stand-up has been doing for me. It's been helping me get my message across.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and I
because
like
with
that.
stand up, you're forced to do
Yes.
that. Because like if you lose their attention for
Yeah.
a second, you know you're screwed.
It's gone. It's
so you gotta
gone.
be
And reeling
going
them back
somewhere with
in.
your point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
lose them.
But I love seeing that as a challenge. I love reeling. I love reeling back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely something to that. In a way, I'd love to see stand up become a little more like normalized in terms of its benefits for corporate America, for like other, because one of the things that I notice, and I don't mean to be like overly negative about my company or anybody who speaks publicly, but like after watching so many stand-up shows and doing stand-up and stuff, you sit in a meeting, you can pick up on if the meeting's boring or not. Like my
Yes.
radar is very honed for that. If the meeting's boring, I'm tempted to check out. I'm like, dude, why is there not no punchlines every 10
Yeah.
seconds? I'm like, dude, this is boring.
Yeah.
Whereas if there, and then some of them, like if you listen to like one of our big leaders, I swear one of the skills they have is they're good, captivating speakers,
Yes.
and they can like capture the attention of a room. And it's so funny because that's a small part in terms of the time dedicated to the job. We have these meetings like a couple times a year, but when you get a captivating speaker up there, it's just the vibe is different.
Yeah.
You're just like everything, and they'll incorporate humor. So as a practice, I mean, I don't know if managers and corporations, come out to an open mic. Just
Yeah.
do jokes. Like you don't have to do like your business speech, but just if you have the comfortability in your own skin to speak, you know how to make a couple little jokes.
Exactly.
It's such a good little workout to do for your brain.
It's a good workout. It's a good workout. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's great for mental health. It's such a
Yes.
relief. It's
It
like
is.
a bucket of water on your,
I get to make fun of
mundane
all
day.
my brownness. I get to make fun of it
Yeah.
on stage. Like
Yeah.
all my
And
immigrant
you get to
stories.
let us into your world. Like, that's why I
Yes.
like your sets. Is because your sets talk about your experience being from Bangladesh and how you like you talk about a lot of stuff we talked
Yeah.
about. Like
Yeah. I talk about how it is driving in there. I talk about, like stuff we eat, how it's
Right.
referred to, the people. And those are things that I don't get to do on a daily basis. Even though you're my friend, it just doesn't come up in conversation.
Right. 100%.
So it's really cool. The whole
Yeah.
world thing. Yeah.
And that's also, segueing back to podcasts. Like podcasts are nice too. Like I noticed that.
Yeah.
Like it's all the people that I get to talk to, I feel like I'm happy when I have anybody on because I feel like I know them a little better
Yeah.
afterwards. It's like, oh, I know you now a little
Yeah.
better. Because like you don't get that uninterrupted time to just talk for like, an
Yeah.
hour of like no
Yeah.
phone or
It's
no
intentional.
distractions. It's
Yeah.
intentional conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you still gotta get over all the self promotion aspects. But
Can I promote other things?
you can promote other things.
Okay.
Yes. What do you want to
There's
promote?
There's two things.
Yeah.
We're looking for girls. So if you have a sister or a friend, push them into joining Miss Earth. We do North Carolina and South Carolina for under my director. So I just joined the team as their chief sustainability officer.
Hell yeah.
So I'll be running
What type of girls should be interested in this kind of thing?
every girl.
Every girl, age range?
So
High
we have
school,
different
college?
divisions. We have
Okay.
different divisions. you can be 4, 5, 6 years old. You'll be in our teeny juniors division. You can be a teen in our teen division. But you do have to be 19 plus to be in the Miss division.
Okay.
And that goes all the way up until age 27.
Okay.
So
it sounds like this.
And
is really...
then if you're married, you could be in the Mrs. division.
Okay.
And those girls go hard. So definitely, if you have, again, a sister, a friend, whoever you think, a colleague, and you want to give them something that they'll take away and be empowered and then empower you back, join Miss Earth USA.
Yeah. It's for good causes.
It is for good. It's environmentalism. That is our biggest thing. Environmentalism. If you care about your community, your world, the water you drink,
Love
you
it.
know.
Yeah.
The second thing, as a byproduct of Miss Earth, is Safe Haven. If you look up rescueexotics.org, please donate to them. Or if you have people who love working with animals, have them volunteer on Tuesdays and Saturdays. They need all the help they can get. It is literally a husband and a wife, Kim and her husband, the two of them. They spend their own money supporting all the animals there.
Okay.
And these animals come from all over the East Coast.
Okay.
Like, you know, animals that people shouldn't have in their homes that they raise. That And then, you know,
like
if
Tiger King.
It is kind of like Tiger King. Like I said, they have bobcats, coyotes, alligators. They have boas. Like they have
So
all
they bust these dudes?
Sometimes there's police busts, and then they don't know where to give them to. They hand them over to Kim and her husband, and they're spending their own hard-earned money supporting these animals. So if you have any money to help donate to support the animals there, or if you want to volunteer, please.
I love it. And that looks great on a resume, I'm sure.
Of course.
Like,
it looks great on you as a person. It shows you care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love all that.
Yeah.
And then where can they find you, Samiha?
Where can they find me?
Yes.
You can find me on Instagram, Samiha Islam Official.
Do you have a blue check?
You know, I should get one.
and
then, because if I get the blue check, I don't have to have official on there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they always used to do. And before they had verification, to be
a lot of
real
my
Donald Trump. That's why his is that.
I actually have an IMBD page, so that came from Miss Earth. They have us down as actors.
Oh hell yeah!
So I think because I have the IMBD page, I think I can get the blue check.
You should get an acting credit for being on Vice. I don't know if that counts.
Maybe.
But it's kind of a documentary. I would count it.
It is a documentary. It is my first mini documentary.
Yeah. And you're so great on there. Look her up on the Vice documentary on YouTube. That's definitely. I'll try to link all this stuff.
Okay.
When this goes
thank
up,
you. Yes. Yes. I'll send you all the links so that you can link them.
Yeah. For sure.
Thank you so much, David.
Yeah. No, this was really fun. Thanks for coming. Yeah, we did an hour and a half. That's pretty good. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.
All I heard was the shoe toe tap. 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 Toe tap, toe tap. Who's